Good afternoon, everyone. We are on week 5 of our book club. Chapter 9, Preparing Yourself to Lead. Oh, what a chapter. I hope everybody enjoyed this one as much as I did. There are a lot of different ways that we lead. Believe it or not, we're a leader from the day that we join the company. If we join the company with the business in mind, and whether we have a customer or whether we have an ambassador, we are a leader. We also lead ourselves. And you all are leading yourself by doing personal development with this book. I will say that, a lot of people think that they'll join and they'll say, oh, well, I can't be half the leader that so-and-so is, or I don't think I'll ever be like them. Well, that's the great thing about leading, is that we are our own. Each leader has their own individual personality, and it brings something different to the table. We shouldn't ever try to be like somebody else, because what happens is that people see right through that, and we need to be ourselves. Being yourself, people are going to follow you more. Carol, do you have something you want to add to that?
Yes, I absolutely love that. In fact, on the second page, it talks about comparing ourselves to others, or, I think we see other people and what they're doing, and we think we need to do that same thing, or we think we need to do, and I'm not saying there's not some good roadmaps out there to follow, but comparing ourselves wastes valuable time. Yeah. Valuable time that we could be, growing ourselves personally. And I'll just mention, whenever I first got into the business, and the very first opportunity event that I went to was actually in Sykeston, and Sheila Medina had came. It was that weekend. And just watching her get up in front of people and talk, and I was sitting there thinking, there's no way that I can ever do that. And then whenever I actually did my very first opportunity meeting, I tried to copy the exact way that she did it. And I was, I learned that if I would just relax and be myself and present materials and do my own thing and just speak from the heart instead of trying to copy or emulate somebody else. And I tell you, that was a huge eye-opener for me when I finally realized, okay, Carol, you can just be yourself, because there were people that probably, looked to me and saw things that I did even differently maybe than she did. And so I totally agree with, not comparing yourselves to others. You are on your own journey at your own pace. And this personal development, reading this book, I absolutely love it, because, there are so many things, as we've mentioned before, that personal development carries over into, if you work outside the home, if you're not a stay-at-home mom doing something other than Plexus, your business life, your spiritual life, your with your friends, with your family. It's just everything that you will learn and do with personal growth is not just for your business. And it's just so very important, and not, it wasn't something in the beginning. Lindsay and I were talking about this. I didn't realize how important it was to my business in the beginning, almost 4 years ago. And so personal growth is huge,
very huge. I like the last sentence in that first paragraph on page 96 that says, or actually the last 3 sentences, the death of contentment is comparison. Competition takes you captive. Focus on your calling. And it just, I was the same way, Carol. Whenever I went to do my first opportunity meeting, I want you to know, I sat down and watched YouTube videos of Sheila Medina presenting the products and the opportunity, And I think I copied word for word, like what she did. And I had a script that I would stand up in front of people and I would read it like I was Sheila Medina presenting. You know, that didn't work. And what I found was that, like you, when I loosened up, when I became myself, when, you know, I still have a couple of things that Sheila's always said that I use because they're funny. But, you know, it took the nerves away from it all. It was like before I was so nervous I was going to say something wrong. And then it was like, you know what? Who cares? Because people need to realize that, yes, I'm a leader, but I make mistakes. And if I get up there and I do a perfect opportunity meeting, does that show people that what I do is duplicatable? No, not in any way, shape, or form. You know, and then also, you know, the third E in chapter 9, encourage. Everybody encourages in different ways. Sonia Dudley has a way of, she can look at you and you can just like melt and feel like everything's going to be okay, you know. And I realized a long time ago, I'm not Sonia Dudley. I will not ever be Sonia Dudley, but I have my own way of encouraging people. So, you know, don't compare yourself to other encouragers that you know have a way. Some people just have that natural born way of doing that. For me, the encouragement part was kind of hard because I've never been a hugger, or, you know, if you haven't read the 5 love languages?
Languages, yes.
The 5 love languages
That's a great book.
If you haven't read that and you haven't taken the test that they have online, I suggest you do it, because I learned by doing that I had my own way of encouraging people. And for me, it's giving gifts and writing little notes with it. For me to hug somebody and give them words of affirmation, that's not me, because I'm not the touchy-feely, what is it they call it? I think it's just touch is what they say in the 5 language love.
That's what it's called, yes.
But so, you know, find the way that you can encourage others, but be sure to do so, because, you know, that's part of personal development. And also, when I was reading my daily devotional the other day, I thought it was kind of funny that it was 1 Thessalonians 5. 5:11, that God commands us to encourage one another and build each other up. So, you know, I thought, man, that just goes right along with this chapter perfectly.
And that's so great. I mean, there's so many ways that we can encourage one another. Mm-hmm. You know, just a quick message on Facebook or a text message, you know, but to realize that there's no one set way that we can encourage. The handwritten note, I mean, that to me is huge, that somebody took enough time, because, you know, everybody tries to squeeze in as much as they can in a 24-hour period. Right. Anymore. So the thought that somebody took enough time to write a handwritten note and send it to me would be huge. But there are other people, you know, that just a quick message on Facebook, or just a shout out on their Facebook page, or a hug, or a gift. There's just so many ways. And it doesn't have to be, you know, something that costs a lot of money or anything like that. I absolutely love, somebody that I see doing this all the time is Sammy Creech. She's such an encourager and a motivator. And anyway, I love to see things that she's doing. And it's not just gifts that she does. She's constantly encouraging others and her team. And so it's a great example for us to look to, and we can all do something to encourage one another.
You know, something else on encourage too that really stands out is when someone welcomes a new team member to one of our Facebook pages, or somebody ranks up to a new promotion, instead of just liking the post, when you actually get on there and you comment welcome or congratulations, one word, you've made that person feel so huge.
Yes.
Like what they've done is like this huge accomplishment. And it also helps them with their, going back to number 2, their energy and their excitement about their business. And, you know, and I know a lot of people don't comment because they think, man, I don't want to get all those notifications. Well, Facebook has this awesome thing now where you just click the little down arrow and then click the turn off notifications. So you've done your comment, and then you've also, you're not going to get any more notifications on it. But, you know, whether you like it or you comment, it takes the same amount of time.
Right.
The commenting means a lot more than just liking the post.
Right. Right. Very good. Very good. Very good point to encourage, especially when somebody new is coming in, that getting them off, you know, making them feel welcome, and, you know, just the motivation and the excitement, that's contagious. And so I think that's very, very important.
It is.
Engaging your team, I feel like that's been something that has been, you know, great, especially in the last couple of months, as far as, you know, being engaged and being consistent. I can share with you a little bit of personal about being consistent, because I feel like being consistent is that's the difference in making this business a success and not. You know, some personal things that have gone on, and everybody has personal things that's gone on, but I kind of let my business slide for the last probably 2 years. And I can tell you my business has suffered because of it. And so I realize now how consistency plays such a huge part in being engaged. And there are many, many ways we can be engaged. I mean, there are tons of videos to be watching, personal development that we can do, team calls that we can do. And so be engaged, because the more that you're, you know, with like-minded people doing the same types of things, and the more that you're learning, the more excited that you're going to be, and the more people are going to be wanting to do, you know, wanting to be a part of your team. And so I love that part of this chapter. I mean, we knew that already, but that just, you know, reconfirms how important it is to be engaged and to be successful.
Yep. And then number 5 there, educating your team. You know, we have lots of different ways that we train you. This book club is one way that we are educating you. Carol, I know in Freedom Builders group, posts lots of different product information to help educate you on the products. You know, there are files in both of our team pages that are there for you to educate yourself. YouTube videos. I'm not saying you need to know everything, but the more that you educate yourself, the more confident you become in building your business. Because when somebody says, hey, what is it in X Factor that really helps with thyroid? Well, if you've even seen the post going on Facebook, you know, thiamine. You know, and so just little memory joggers that you can help to learn. Now, here's an awesome tip about education. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. And it's totally okay to tell somebody, you know what, I'm not exactly sure on that. Let me get right back with you. And the message you're applying, and find out what the answer is. And then go back to them and give them the answer. So don't ever feel like you have to know everything, but please always be educating yourself.
That's a very, very good point. I feel like it's a learning process as we continue to go along. Just this week, I've had 2 ambassadors that used to be in our business have messaged me asking about our ProBio 5. And just because they know, I guess, because I'm friends with them, they know what I know about gut health. Mm-hmm. They asked me, is your ProBio the best? yes, it is. And I was able to tell them why, because I have researched that product and how important the ingredients that are in it are in a probiotic. So I'm not, like you said, you don't have to know everything, but there are resources out there, and there are other people that possibly do know more than you do, maybe. So maybe follow them, or maybe, you know, if you don't know the answer to something, your upline is always willing and available to you to ask questions. So education is huge.
Number 6, equip your team. I had my toes stepped on this one because I'm really quick. If somebody messages me and they say, hey, I can't find this file, can you send it to me? I'm really quick to go ahead and send it to them instead of letting them figure it out on their own. So, you know, I personally need to turn off my enabling button to allow people to blossom more so into leaders. So that one stepped on my toes. You know, I know there's lots of you who are awesome leaders and you never, ever, ever ask for help. And those are the people that when they do reach out, I'm really quick to give them an answer. But yet I've got other people who will message me every time they just don't even know how to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's what it feels like sometimes. And so just know that if you message one of your uplines and they don't respond right away, it's not the end of the world. Don't just stop looking for your answer. Still continue to look for your answer, not by messaging the next person, but by actually researching, because that's going to help you, and it goes along with education.
Well, and there's so many good resources that we can find even anymore. I know that when the back office is so different right now than even when we started, and so tons of resources in the back office if you're looking for something. You know, if you have team members that are messaging you, it's never not a bad idea to share with them where they might find that information. And that way, because I can tell you, I've that to my upline message, where's this at? And, you know, if they send back, you know, it can be found here, or have you looked in this spot? I know that when I go out and I look for that information and I find it myself, I tend to retain it a little bit longer. So that's a big plus, finding that. And I think it's funny that it talks about encouragement again. I mean, that's obviously huge. Encouraging your team, your upline, your downline, your sideline, sisters and brothers. I love to see, you know, people helping other people who may not have a dog in the race, as we say, in their team, you know, but how exciting it is to help someone just for the sheer fact of helping someone. How good does it feel to be able to do that for somebody? And so anyway, let's use words to build up, not tear down. You know, always be very thoughtful in your when you speak, or even when you post things, you know, online. I know this was something that, you know, several years ago we talked about how important it was, the things that we posted on Facebook. You know, if I'm posting about how excited I am about this company and that, you know, I love Plexus and Plexus makes me feel so good. And then, you know, 2 hours later, I've posted, I hate my boss and my boss is awful. He treats me blah, blah, you know, and you're maybe whining or you're having a bad day. Maybe think about not putting those things on Facebook or on social media, because, you know, people see the negative, and a lot of times they tend to see the negative quicker than they do maybe the positive things we post. And so you may have posted positive stuff all week long, but that one negative post really could put a bad taste in somebody's mouth. And so I think that's very important to, you know, be very choosy as you post and even as you talk to others, because there's enough negative in the world without being in a team where the leader is negative themselves. And so just keep that in mind whenever you post and when you talk to others.
Yes, for sure. And, going back a couple of steps to what you said about helping people who you don't even have a dog in the race with, I always remember from when I first started with Plexus, and the one thing that makes Plexus different is our unity, our oneness, and that even if I have nothing to do with so-and-so, but I help them, it helps everybody because we are one. So keep that in mind. Somebody reaches out to you from another team. I had somebody reach out to me, Easton, shh. I had somebody he's playing with his bat cave down here. It's getting kind of loud. I had somebody reach out to me from another team. I don't even know who they're under, frustrated with their business. And instead of, ignoring it, I asked them, I did a little coaching with them and asked them, what they had going on and everything. And I actually suggested that she order the Rock Your Network Marketing Business book. And she messaged me this morning and she said, I want you to know I ordered that book and it'll be here Thursday. So, you might make a difference in somebody who maybe, I always try to keep in mind that not everybody gets, let's see how I can word this the right way without it. Not everybody vibes with everybody in their upline the way that we do. And so sometimes people will reach out to somebody else just because maybe they had a connection with you prior to, and they know that they can get help from you. And that's okay. Always be willing to help others, because in the end, you get tenfold back from your own team by them seeing you do so. Number 8, the ethical leaders go the distance. This one is huge. If I'm having a meeting, I want people who aren't even on my team to be able to send their people to my meeting and not to have to worry about the fact that so-and-so or this person or that person might try to take them from them. And it was brought to my attention last week that someone had posted in, I guess, a yard sale site. And somebody from another Plexus team was going and commenting below with their personal website. We don't do that. That is very unethical to do that. If somebody comments, message me, or I want more info, and then you message them and it wasn't even your post and you hijacked it, that is very unethical. So always do the golden rule: do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Do you want to be able to send your people to another meeting and know that they're good? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Ethics goes a long way in this business. And by making sure that we stay ethical, we're keeping the unity and the one Plexus that the company founders have always wanted this to be.
I agree. Absolutely. Integrity is not something that integrity and class, keep it classy. And like you said, the golden rule. And there again, that leads us right into the next one, lead by example. If you were to do those things possibly that weren't ethical, think about the culture and the team atmosphere that you are creating. You always want to, create an atmosphere of positive integrity whenever, you run your business and how you run your business. People are watching. Also, lead by example. Do the things. If you are not willing to do the things that you're wanting your team to do, your business is going to stall and you will be complacent. You won't have there won't be any growth. And so, it talks about new blood brings life to the business continually. And I love the fact that Plexus offers incentives for that. I mean, this incentive that they have done for, the 3 plus the 3 is amazing. And then now in October, whenever we're, able to be paid double bonus for ranking up and re-ranking. And so I think it's wonderful that we have incentives. I mean, it's enough incentive what Plexus pays us and what we're able to do. But, you know, when the company also helps and encourages us along, there's one thing that I underline. I watch their feet and not their mouths as far as, you know, who you work with in your business. You might not be able to know who to choose. And I love, Sonia has always said this, and I love this. You play ball with the ones that want to play ball. Exactly. You throw the ball. If they throw it back, you play ball. And so I'm not saying just completely discount people that may have been, you know, inactive. You know, life happens for us all, and life happens and everybody deals with it differently. There's some people you'll never know that things are going on, and there's some people that, you know, may have had to step back for a little while. I'm not saying that not reach out to those, but really work, you know, the ones that are really wanting to work their business, those are the ones, you know, to spend and focus your time with.
Yes. Sonia helped me with some coaching calls a couple of months ago because I wanted to make sure that I was doing justice for the people that I was doing coaching with. And I will not ever forget when she, on one of them that we were talking with, she says, I need to know who are your 3 to 5 runners. And she told her, and she said, okay, so what did they do last month with their business? Did they get new customers? Did they add any team members? And she said, they didn't do anything, but they told me that they were going to do this. And I know that they're reaching out to people, and I know that they're doing this. And Sonia looked at her and said, so you are your biggest rock star. And it was like a light bulb moment, because we put a lot of times our faith in the people who are telling us what we want to hear. Because when we talk to those people, that's what they know that we want to know. You know, what income producing activities are you doing? And so they tell us these things, but the action that comes behind it, eventually that has to start happening. Otherwise, we know that the consistency is not there, and that some things need to be tweaked along the way. So remember, you are your biggest rock star, and the stop recruiting and you die a slow death in network marketing is so true. So true. I can tell you from personal experience from the last 3 months that personally, I didn't recruit any new ambassadors. I had some new customers, but not any new ambassadors. And each month, I watched my points drop just a little bit. So, you know, make sure you are always recruiting. And there's a reason the company has the power of 3, because it's meant to help you with duplication. And then number 10, endure. Pick a company and stick with it. The grass is never greener on the other side. And that is so true. I've been reading The Circle Maker, and ironically enough, the chapter that I was reading last night before I went to bed talked about how when you stick with something, your roots grow into the foundation. Yes, it takes time for those roots to grow, but those roots make what grows up strong. Because without strong roots, the plant has nothing to hold it there. The wind will blow and it will simply blow out of the ground. So I thought that goes right along with number 10 here in the endurement, because that is so true. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but sticking with it, you're always going to be failing forward. Always.
I absolutely love, if you don't read anything else in these chapters, the last 2 paragraphs are of utmost important, and how very true. I mean, this is the first network marketing gig that I've really done. I mean, I was in a couple other things, but I never really did the business. But discipline your disappointments. Don't deviate from your mission, and be driven by your dream. Don't quit. It's that simple. the grass is not greener on the other side. There's always going to be a new business here, a new business there, somebody that's doing this. But I can tell you, you can watch that come full circle, especially, you know, as I said, going into something for almost 4 years now. I've been with Plexus, and I can see people coming back, and they always say, this compensation plan, there's not another one out there like it. And with the way the medical issues, the health issues that folks are having, you know, in this day and time, we have those products to help alleviate those. And so we're with the right company at the right time with the right products. And I think that kind of leads us into what we're going to do. We have chapter 10, which is the end of the that we'll read for next week, and it is the power of belief.
Belief is huge.
Belief is very huge.
In network marketing.
Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your company? Do you believe in your products? Do you believe, you know, that you're going to be a successful network marketer? I mean, there's so many questions you can ask about belief. And so belief is huge.
And that will also be our last week. So I would try my best to make sure that you're on. We want to hear your input. We want to know what you loved. We want to know what you didn't like, so that we know for future reference when we do these again, what we can do differently, how we can better serve you. As your leaders, we want to make sure that we are serving you properly and that you get the most from anything that we do. So we will see you all next week. Chapter 10, guys. Make sure that you comment with your takeaways from chapter 9 on this recording.
Okay. Y'all have a great rest of the week.
Bye, guys. See you, Carol.
Bye.